Hello guys, welcome to another video, and this one we're going to be discussing the Adorned unique jewel. This is a new unique jewel that has made quite the splash in this league. A lot of people have been talking about this one. Lots of builds are using it this league because it's just so powerful in those endgame setups when you have very good jewels. So if you're out of the loop, the Adorned is a new corrupted unique jewel. It comes from combining the Vow fragments, which previously provided access to the Trial Master boss. Obviously that one is now part of the Ultimatum mechanic. And you gain a corrupted Adorned jewel when you combine them, and it can roll between 50 and 150% increased effect of magic jewels that are socketed in your passive skill tree. So there's a really big roll range, and you might get one that's a complete brick and it's 50% and it's not very useful. And you could get one that's 150% increased effect and it's really, really strong. Obviously, you want one as close to 150% as possible. And this jewel will increase the effect of the modifiers gained from specifically magic corrupted jewels that are socketed anywhere in your passive skill tree. It won't affect the ones that are socketed in your gear. For example, if you had a magic jewel socketed in a Stygian Vise belt, it won't affect that. They must be socketed in your passive skill tree, and they must be magic rarity and corrupted to work. And this is quite powerful, as you can imagine. Modifiers like 7% increased life on a magic corrupted jewel. Well, with 150% increased effect, that's going to provide 17% increased life, which is insane. And there's a lot of modifiers that a lot of players are already using to combo off with this new jewel. Stuff like maximum energy shield, crit multi, item rarity, flat attributes like strength, minion damage modifiers on magic abyss jewels, those are crazy too. But in this video, I'm going to be discussing some of the jewel modifiers that are flying under the radar a little bit when it comes to boosting their power with the Adorned. So let's start out with one for the tricksters out there. There's a lot of trickster attack builds this league: splitting steel, kinetic bolt of fragmentation, molten strike, flicker strike even. A lot of these builds are CI2, or hybrid at least. And there's a modifier you can roll on Cobalt Jewels, gain 2 to 3 energy shield per enemy hit with attacks. Now, flat energy shield gain on hit modifiers are pretty rare, mainly because they're quite powerful, especially on a build like Splitting Steel or Kinetic Bolt Fragmentation, which is hitting many times per attack. Now, with the Adorned, this modifier will provide up to 7 flat energy shield per hit with attacks. And this may not sound like much, but when you're hitting 5, 10, maybe 20 times per attack, especially with high attack speed, this is going to provide insane recovery, which is not impacted by things like negative recovery rate modifiers on maps or invites. And just one of these is going to feel amazing, and especially when combined with instant leech as well, you're going to have massive amounts of instant energy shield recovery on hit. And next up, the Totem Life modifier, which is found on any of the normal jewels. This one rolls up to 12%. This is just completely absurd amounts of Totem Life for Flamewood builds. To put it into comparison, the Ironwood and Primal Manifestation notables on the passive skill tree each grant 30% increased Totem Life, while the smaller nodes that lead to those big notables there provide 10 or maybe 15% of that stat. With the Adorned, the Totem Life modifier on jewels can provide up to 30% increased Totem Life. That's the same amount that's gained from the notable on the tree, and it's coming from a single jewel. That's just ridiculous, and anyone that's played Flamewood build will know that 30% Totem Life is crazy amounts of damage for those types of builds, so that's really strong there. And since we're talking about Totem Life, there's also Minion Life too, which can roll on Cobalt Jewels. That one also goes up to 12%. That's a really strong pickup there for more of Mischief builds, or builds using the new Transfigured Body Swap gem, or even Minion Instability builds too. So you can get up to 30% increased Minion Life from a single jewel with a well-rolled Adorned. That's kind of crazy when you consider that there's not much Minion Life available on the passive skill tree, and the notables themselves only grant 20%, so a potential 30% from a jewel is nuts. And Minion Life modifiers are a little bit more accessible than Totem Life. You can get it on gear and uniques and things like that, and veiled modifiers. But still, 30% from a jewel is quite a big boost to one of those builds. And I've got to mention these ones here too, Trap Throwing Speed and Mine Throwing Speed. These are just incredible quality of life and a lot of damage too for Trap and Mine builds. They roll up to 8%, so that's a potential 20% Trap or Mine Throwing Speed that you can gain from a single duel with a well-rolled Adorned in use there as well. That's a lot. To put that into perspective, the small nodes on the tree grant 4 or 5% to Trap or Mine Throwing Speed, and the notables only provide 12%, and there's only one for each of the respective types. So gaining access to that stat is quite difficult. Even the Saboteur class itself only gets 10% for each of those stats for each type of throwing speed, and that comes from the small nodes leading to the notables. So stacking throw speed duels is going to feel amazing with the Adorned. And I will mention the Avoidance modifiers on Abyss duels. These ones are already being used quite a lot, so they're not really flying under the radar, but I will mention them anyway. They can roll up to 50%, so you can basically solve avoidances with a single duel when combined with the Adorned, which is nice if you're struggling against something like bleeding, for example. You can just become immune to it from the use of a single duel there. And obviously, I could have mentioned many more of these modifiers. Really, this video could have probably gone 30 or 40 minutes. If you're interested, I'll leave a link to the duel modifiers below for each type of duel. The Adorned is quite insane. It's an interesting addition to the game, but I do like how they implemented it, where it's farmable even in SSF, and it drops Corrupted with a giant roll range. So, you know, some of them are going to be complete bricks if you get close to the 50% mark, and some of them are going to be really, really good as you creep up to 150% increased effect. This duel isn't part of the Affliction League, it's a core drop. So we'll see if they decide to tweak the numbers a little bit. Personally, I think they'll probably leave it as it is. Anyway, that's going to be it for this one, guys. I just wanted to highlight a few modifiers that I thought were particularly interesting for use with the Adorned. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, stay tuned and stay safe.